What's up, guys? My name is Justin Bond.
I'm Greg Campbell.
This week we are previewing the Arkansas versus Penn State bowl game.
The 21st ranked Hogs meet the Nittany Lions on Saturday, January 1st at 11 o'clock on ESPN in the Outback Bowl.
After ending the regular season 8-4, Arkansas is looking to carry their success into the postseason in their first ever meeting with Penn State. This is Diamond State Sports.
Welcome back to yet another pregame chat.
Hogs versus Nittany Lions in the Outback Bowl on New Year's Day. You know, Greg, this isn't one of the New Year's Six bowls, but playing on New Year's Day means that you've had a good season in college football.
Oh, definitely. Well, if you look at the Nittany Lions, they started off really hot this season with 5 consecutive wins and peaked at number 4 in the nation. After that is when things started to really go downhill for them. They lost its next 3 and finished the year just winning 2 of its last 7 for an overall record of 7-5.
7-5, but this team is much better than their record shows, and you don't have to look much further than the stat sheet for that.
Oh, no.
Their 5 losses included a 3-point road loss to Iowa, a 9-point road loss to Ohio State, a 4-point loss to Michigan, and a 3-point road loss to Michigan State. 4 of those losses are top 15 teams. 3 of them are actually in the top 10.
Oh, yeah. But same thing can be said about the Hogs.
It's true.
Aside from them losing to Auburn, our other 3 losses came from the teams that are currently ranked 1st, 3rd, and 8th.
Yeah, that Auburn loss was kind of kind of out there. And, Penn State had one, too, against Illinois. 9 overtimes. There are a few things that are going to need to happen for Arkansas to secure this win and carry some momentum into the next season.
Oh, definitely.
And I think the best way is just look at each of the core groups on the field and kind of preview those matchups.
Yep. What's a better way to start than the leaders of the field, the QBs?
Quarterback, Sean Clifford, Penn State quarterback. He loves to throw the ball.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
He's a senior. He is 88 passing yards away from reaching 3,000 this season. He will reach 3,000 this season in the bowl game.
Yeah. Well, he had 20 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions on almost 400 attempts.
That's crazy.
It's unreal.
I mean, and he has not been much of a threat moving the ball on the ground either. I read up. He had kind of an injury sometime during the season. And over the final 6 games, he ran for negative 56 yards on 43 attempts. But that's because the Nittany Lions did tie for last in the Big Ten with 32 sacks this season. And even though we're talking about quarterbacks, I think that really does kind of...
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, it's something to consider. I mean,
because playing on the opposite fence of that is the Hogs quarterback, KJ Jefferson. He can do both. He can throw it and he can run.
He really is a true dual threat. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. He has 21 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions. Just over 100 fewer passing attempts.
Yeah, 397
to 275. But he has 554 rushing yards.
That's a key.
That's huge.
And oddly enough, he's thrown for one more touchdown pass than a quarterback that loves throwing the ball. What I love the most is KJ Jefferson. He really started this season out ranked as number 14th quarterback in the SEC by multiple publications. And those same publications put an end of season out, and he's consensus number 4 in the SEC. I really can't say enough about KJ's speed, his quickness, power, escapability, and how he has truly turned this into a great season for the Hogs and has truly kind of found his own and has really stepped up to be a great quarterback.
Yeah, he's definitely proven, like you just said, everyone wrong, that he's someone that can only do one or the other, because there's a lot of quote-unquote dual-threat quarterbacks that aren't as accomplished. He's been able to prove if he needs to escape and run it on the ground, he has that ability. If he needs to air it out, he can.
And I think with all that being said, I think when it comes to quarterbacks, Arkansas gets the edge at this matchup.
I definitely agree. It's all that dual threat.
All right. Wide receivers. Those quarterbacks have to have someone to throw it to. Penn State,
Jahan Dotson.
He is their go-to wide receiver, and he has had a huge season. Mm-hmm. He's ranked second in the Big Ten, 91 receptions, 12 touchdowns, and third in the Big Ten with 1,182 receiving yards. Well, they love throwing the ball to him.
It's so much fun to watch, too. But Penn State also has Parker Washington.
Yeah.
He has 722, I believe that's right, receiving yards on 57 receptions.
Yeah. So, they do. They have two great wide receivers love to catch the ball. Unfortunately, Arkansas's biggest wide receiver threat, Treylon Burks, has chosen to opt out of the bowl game to prepare for the NFL draft.
Yeah, I can't blame him.
No, that's a huge loss in our wide receiver department, though. Yeah. It really is going to have to be a next man up mentality.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, when you combine, so obviously Treylon Burks was number one.
Yes.
In number two, you had Tyson Morris. Number three, Warren Thompson. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the stats, when you combine all of Tyson Morris's stats and all of Warren Thompson's stats, they equal out to less than half, or rather, no, just over half of Treylon Burks' total stats. So it's really crazy how much Treylon Burks really did and brought to our team.
Yeah, but it's also one of those, how much of a hindrance considering how much weight he had on his shoulder? Is the confidence
That's true.
Number 2 and 3 there?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that where KJ may run it more because he's not used to their ability as much as Treylon Burks?
And I don't really think that it has anything to do with KJ's confidence in Thompson, that much. I think it's just that Treylon Burks was that good.
Yeah.
And,
definitely.
Kind of on a side note, we both love Treylon Burks, and we really do wish him the best of luck in NFL.
Oh, definitely.
I love the way he represents our state. Mm-hmm. And he will go down as one of the best wide receivers to play in Arkansas.
Oh, hands down.
Even when you look at what he went through, 3 years here, 3 different quarterbacks each season, he had to play under Chad Morris. And if anyone from Warren is watching, hey, Warren, we need you to send us another one.
Please.
We've got some great wide receivers from the Warren Lumberjacks, and we could use another one.
On wide receivers, I think we're going to have to give it to Penn State.
Penn State definitely gets the edge on that. As of right now, neither of their 2-star wide receivers has opted out.
I just don't think they will.
Yeah. I think Penn State definitely gets the edge when it comes to wide receivers. Yep. Running backs, though.
See, this is where we were talking about. Penn State really likes to throw the ball.
They do.
They ranked 13th in their conference and 118th in the nation rushing, averaging just over 100 yards a game.
So 13 out of 14 in their conference, 118 out of 130 in the nation. Yeah, they do have Kevon Lee and Noah Kane sharing duties in the backfield. Lee was their leading rusher. He had 495 yards, which is not bad on 104 carries. Added 2 touchdowns. Yep. Kane had 322 on 101, but had 4 touchdowns.
Yes. Arkansas.
Yeah.
So we've already tiptoed on this as well as far as the running. Arkansas does a lot more balanced offense than Penn State.
Absolutely.
We have the backfield.
We have a loaded backfield.
It seems like it's always that way. Mm-hmm. We have 4 main rushing threats. We have Traylon Smith. We have Rocket Sanders, Dominique Johnson.
And of course,
our quarterback,
KJ Jefferson. So in the regular season, Smith had 592 yards. KJ had 554. Sanders had 499. Johnson had 498. Yep. Obviously, Sanders is 1 yard away from 500. Yeah. Johnson's 2 away. So that's going to be crazy. After the bowl game, we should end the season with 4 players over 500 yards rushing. 118th in the nation is where the Nittany Lions rank. Hogs rank 12th in the nation when it comes to yards per game on the ground. Mm-hmm. And that's after playing 3 of the top 10 rush defenses in the nation.
Yes.
I definitely think that when it comes to running backs, Arkansas has the edge on
absolutely.
this one.
There's no competition there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the other side of the ball. Let's go to defense.
Yeah.
Start with the secondary. This This is definitely going to be an area of concern for
I'm
us.
still having nightmares about Bryce Young from Alabama getting 559 yards through the air against the Hogs.
And we unfortunately knew that was going to happen.
And we did. And, Clifford from Penn State, he loves to air it out.
Yeah.
If our secondary does not step up, I can promise you, he already loves to throw the ball. He's going to try to expose that weakness. He might do that if we do not step up in the secondary. But, we have great defensive coaches. I am confident that they're going to have our secondary ready.
Yep.
They know what's coming for them. They know he loves to air it out.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to try.
Yeah. Arkansas allows right around 250 yards per game through the air, and we've intercepted the ball 11 times this season.
Yeah. The flip side, Penn State's averaging 208 yards a game through the air with 12 interceptions.
Oh, yeah.
But one thing that does kind of stick out about that, they have 11 interceptions, we have 12, but they've returned 3 of their interceptions for a touchdown this season. I didn't really look into the specifics of what happened with those, but that is still something that sticks out.
Yeah, whether or not it's a long return for a touchdown or they have the offense backed up. A pick six is a pick six.
A pick six is a pick six, doesn't matter.
So, yeah, it's still 7 points after the kick, obviously.
They've gotten 3, we haven't gotten any this season. So, that is something to consider. But I still think
it's real balance between the two.
Let's go even.
I'm good with even.
We're going even. Edge, even.
Yes.
The other defense, just defense in general, there's this team we played this season who goes by the name of Georgia that we did not score against.
Ugh.
And when it comes to touchdowns allowed, there's this team right under Georgia that says Penn State, who in the nation has the second fewest touchdowns allowed this season at 21.
Yeah.
In 2 of their games against Indiana and Rutgers, they did not allow a touchdown. And in 3 of their other games, Wisconsin, Ball State, and Illinois, they only allowed 1.
Yeah.
So,
and we talked about the Illinois touchdown being their just oddball loss in 9 overtimes.
yeah.
So, regardless, overall, Penn State they're ranked 3rd in their conference, which speaks significantly better than the Russian. But they allow right around 17 points per game.
Yeah, something like right around there.
Yeah.
But I think that stands for something. One way or another, there are 130 teams in the nation.
Yep.
When you're second in allowing touchdowns, fewest amount, that's something. But to point out, their defense is going to be led by assistants.
Yeah.
They lost their defensive coordinator, Brett Pry, to Virginia Tech.
Yep. It's going to really need them to step up and show that leadership.
That has to mean something. I think it always does.
Yeah.
But the Razorback defense is pretty hard-nosed as well.
Oh, for sure.
When you think of Razorback defense nationally, you think of our linebacker core.
Yeah.
It is one of the best in the nation. 3 of the top 10 tacklers in the SEC are from Arkansas.
Yes.
3 of the top 10. Bumper Pool, 120 tackles this season. Grant Morgan, 95 tackles this season.
Who was just announced as the Brandon Burlsworth
Love it.
award winner.
That'll make you feel good in the heart.
Oh, yeah.
An Arkansas award from our legendary Arkansas players, a walk-on. First time I went to an Arkansas player.
It's magical. It's always going to be.
And Grant Morgan's a true leader. Had 95 touchdowns, and Hayden Henry was the other one who had, I think, 94 as well. But our linebackers' ability to play sideline to sideline makes that unit so effective.
So good. They never stop.
No, they don't.
Whenever you need to look at a team to visualize playing till the whistle, it's them.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
They're huge leaders for the defense and the team, period.
Yeah, their presence needs to be felt, whether it's making sure our guys are in the right spots or physically making the plays themselves.
And they're
going to put themselves in the holes to stop anything.
And I think that's what makes them so great. Is not only are they truly great physical players and linebackers, they're leaders on the field.
Oh, definitely.
And, they make sure that people are doing what they're supposed to and they are where they're supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
So I think with our linebacker core versus them not really allowing teams into the end zone, I think they kind of even out some.
Yeah. I think there's just the slightest on Penn State, but I don't think it's big enough of a margin to sway it
It's
completely
so
on
hard.
there.
It's so hard to take teams that play in completely different conferences
yes.
that don't have very many mutual matchups, which our only mutual matchup this year was Auburn.
Yeah.
And Penn State beat Auburn, and then Auburn beat us.
Yeah.
But they were completely different teams. Like the Auburn team that played us and them, you want to complain about some SEC refs, just go back and watch that game, Penn State Auburn.
That's a whole different video.
That's a whole different video. That was a truly poor game there. Well, if you're new to this podcast, this is where we talk about beer.
Yep.
We are an Arkansas sports podcast, and we drink Arkansas beer. This week is Larry's Lager.
There's a nice little story.
Yeah, we had to choose Larry's Lager because we're going bowling.
Yeah.
This is our bowl game preview. We have Larry the bowling ball, which Sam Pittman used.
Yep.
When we beat Mississippi State, became bowl eligible. So there is no other beer we could imagine drinking for our bowl game preview than Larry's Lager.
All right, so we got Larry's Lager up in Springdale out of Core.
Yep.
And that's literally just a few blocks away from Larry the bowling ball at U of A in Fayetteville.
Yeah, Core Brewing had a little spot downtown in Fort Smith.
Yeah, the pandemic hit them hard down here, but
we still drink your beer.
Yeah,
Core.
we do.
And it's good. It actually is pretty. It's a pretty solid lager.
Yeah, it seems I don't want to say IPA-ish, but it has like a little more of a bite than all these other.
A tiny little hot bite at the end.
Yeah.
It's not hoppy. IBUs are only 10, but it's good. It actually has some flavor, and that's something that, drinking all these different beers from Arkansas, that I actually kind of look for. Like,
oh, yeah.
Flavor.
Well, yeah, because you can only have so many just purebred, just basic lagers.
Light beers that are watery.
Yeah.
So projection time. This is hard. These are two teams that really do match up well. I think that the people who scheduled this bowl game, there was a big fuss from the Big Ten about whether Minnesota and one other team who actually had better records, and they thought that those teams should have got in over Penn State. But I think the people who were picking the bowl game knew what they were doing. Arkansas and Penn State are two teams that on paper really do match up well.
Oh, yeah.
I think Arkansas's pass defense is a small concern of mine, just because the Penn State quarterback Clifford loves to air it out, and that is an area that could get exposed. I think we'll shore that up. I think it'll be taken care of, and ultimately, I think KJ Jefferson's physicality, his evasiveness, and our running backs are going to give Arkansas the edge. I'm going to say Arkansas 28, Penn State 21, which means this Penn State, who's second in the nation in allowing the fewest amount of touchdowns, they're going to give up a few.
Yeah.
Maybe more than a few to Arkansas.
See, there's definitely points that I agree with. Arkansas's pass defense it's definitely rocky when it comes to a solid airborne quarterback.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like you said, he's gonna hit us, and he's gonna hit us hard. Him and Jahan Dotson, they're gonna connect on multiple attempts, be it short, medium, and deep balls.
I don't think that's a question.
No,
I don't think that's one of those things.
No.
Like, as long as they don't, that's going to happen.
But KJ's dual threat, I think that's going to hit Penn State. I don't think it's going to hit him enough. I just think the Nittany Lions defense, they know what they're doing clearly.
Yeah.
I have Penn State up 35-31.
Okay.
So
you're more high scoring.
I do have a higher score. And like I said, the running backs, the backfield, I think that's where a bunch of our stuff's going to go. They're going to spread it out, and we're also going to get some of those passes to number 2 and number 3 for our receivers. Yeah. But I still think that they're going to come out just on top. It's going to be fun to watch, hands down.
Yeah.
So,
and And that's what's crazy about these games is you don't have a lot. You don't have a. You just kind of go by what they did this year, what they did in their conference, and that's why I love bowl season.
Oh yeah.
You see, which conference is legit when they match up. These Big Ten. We're talking about how their 4 of their 5 losses are to top 15 teams, 3 to top 10. Same thing goes for Arkansas.
Yeah.
3 of our 4 are top 10 teams, but what does that mean in the realm of things? What is being a top 10 team? What is being a top 15 team?
Yeah.
When you're playing each other, well, yeah, you may be beating these other teams that are ranked, but they're being ranked because they're beating other teams that are ranked based off these preseason expectations.
So, you want to hear something funny though?
Yeah.
Since I've joined you on Diamond State Sports, it took a bowl game for us to finally disagree on a score.
Yeah, that's true.
We've always been on the same side up until now.
We have been right a lot more than we've been wrong.
Oh yeah.
Actually, have we been wrong?
No, not yet. This is going to determine who's going to come out on top.
Hopefully me. This is a Razorback Sports podcast.
Well, I do too, but who's going to be the one with the perfect record between the two of us?
That's true, yeah, because we're shooting...
We're shooting 100% right now.
100% right now in our predictions.
And since you and I have split this game, one of us is going to come away with the W on that. I don't want it to be Arkansas, because that means I personally take the W. But I'm competitive as it is. I always want to win. So
no, I want you to lose, not just because I'm also competitive and want to win, but because that means Arkansas wins the bowl game and brings the new Outback trophy home, which I saw at the Boomerangs.
Oh,
yeah, they redid it. Yeah, they redid the trophy.
Well,
it's like
I'll pop it up.
2 Boomerangs.
Yep.
Yeah, watch it here. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. Leave us a comment. Let us know what your prediction is for the game. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, tag your friends.
Yep.
Like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yep.
And once again, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.
See ya.